With Absolute Evil number 1 out and our first introduction to the Evil Justice League, the Absolute Universe is growing rapidly. New heroes, new villains, all kinds of things are sprouting out of this amazing universe. So I really need to get caught up on Absolute Superman. So, back in issue number 4, Superman inadvertently created the Peacemaker, Christopher Smith, who's been going insane. He was already unstable. With multiple defeats from Superman and the citizens obviously hating the Peacemakers for being so abusive, he completely snapped, murdering a bunch of innocent civilians. This is about to cause the rage of the Superman. On top of that, we got Lois Lane still looking for him, trying to get a conversation. We got Primus hoping for a team up, and we even got Jimmy Olsen being inspired by Superman and trying to get Lois to go to their side, the side of the Omega Men. And with all these threads in the story coming out and forming around Superman, we really didn't get much of him in the last issue. He showed up at the end, destroyed everybody, aura farmed, and left. So now it's time to see what's going on with Superman. What will the rage of the Superman look like after he finds out what the Peacemaker did? But before we figure that out, we have to start 6 years ago on Krypton, where Kal and his family are fighting for their lives against their own people, as they were sentenced to death by the Science League. And now that Krypton is on its last breath, things are pretty bad on the planet, because now everyone knows there's nothing left for the planet to give. They have nowhere to go. And what makes it worse is the Science League knew for months they developed their own plans to escape, and they weren't going to tell any of their people. That's how superior they feel. Only the top guys were going to be able to escape to another planet, and they were going to leave everyone else to perish. So obviously with this information, people are pissed. There are massacres and riots, straight up murder and chaos all over Krypton, while the planet itself is also dying. And as Kal sees all the chaos, he wonders which is worse: how brutally and needlessly they destroyed their own planet for so long, or what they did to each other in the final hour of Krypton. Either way, all of this is a tragedy as he and his family try to escape. And things get even more tragic as Superman's mother, Lara, is doing her best trying to reconfigure the ship so that she can fit more people. But she just can't do it. She cannot save everyone. Unfortunately, although there are so many cousins and neighbors and people she wants to bring along, the small group of Kryptonians they have and their family is all they can bear. As Jor-El tells her, this will have to be enough, with tears in their eyes. And this is where we get a pretty big difference between the Absolute Superman and the OG one. See, OG Superman was sent off Krypton as an infant. He didn't really get to live on this planet. But Absolute Superman was a part of its society, went to school, he understood and loved his planet. He knows exactly what he lost. He felt the full weight of his planet crumbling beneath his feet. And he stood there watching his parents weep as they couldn't save everyone they loved. And with seeing all this, he swore to himself that whatever world they found, they would make it a better place. Because he understands the weight of losing your home, and he also understands the weight of being ruled by a corrupt system. This is why this Superman lives amongst the people that need help against corruption, that are fighting for their homes. This is why he connects with these people, the kinds of people that the Peacemaker murdered at the end of the last issue, which is about to start the rage of the Superman, and now we know exactly why. As we see on Earth and Pakistan right now, the Peacemaker outpost is being annihilated by Superman, as we see an entire torrent of red sunstone mist destroying a bunch of tanks. There is nothing they can do to stop him, as Superman uses his heat vision to completely stomp the rest of the Peacemakers. As he tells himself, there are 23 people dead in Organi Town, gunned down for the unforgivable crime of laughing at a man with a gun. Nobody's laughing now, as he stands over the Peacemakers, burning their armor on their skin. And Superman is completely losing it, looking for Peacemaker, as he tells his AI system Soul to hurry up and find him, but it's having a hard time. The Peacemakers have technology far beyond the planet's capabilities. Where Chris is completely encrypted, but Superman is hearing none of it, simply screaming, "Find him!" But this isn't working fast enough, so he grabs one of the Peacemakers with all of the ashes of Krypton swirling around them, demanding to know where Christopher Smith is, as he's the one who murdered 23 innocent people. But this random Peacemaker simply doesn't know, as rage continues to flood the guts of Superman, screaming, "Where is he?" He tells himself, "I am the fury of billions, cloaked in the red ashes of Krypton, the power of the sun exploding through my veins. My entire world died screaming while I was helpless to stop it, but I'm not helpless anymore." Superman refuses to let corruption end the lives of these innocent people. He will make Peacemaker pay the moment he finds him, as this Peacemaker begs for his life as the rage continues to swell inside Superman. But this is all halted because Soul now has some information. Brainiac is offering the whereabouts of Christopher Smith. On top of that, Soul found out about the bottled cities Brainiac has. And if I'm not mistaken, when we saw Brainiac a few issues ago, he even had the bottled city of Kandor. So he may have some of Superman's people, but he's not worried about that right now. He wants to know where Christopher Smith is. He needs to get his revenge on the Peacemaker for what he did. And before Soul can even let the full sentence be completed on where Chris is, Superman immediately flies out of that outpost, leaving a puff of Kryptonian ash behind. And we go back 6 years, back on Krypton, where Lara and everyone else are getting prepared to officially leave Krypton for good. And we see the cool spacesuit that Superman is currently wearing was for everyone on that ship, as we see the Sunstone energy wrapping around all of them. The only thing that's left to do is to find where the hell Kal-El is, because he's not on the ship, and we see exactly what he's doing, collecting that red Krypton ash that we see swirling around his body that makes him look so cool as Superman. He just wanted to take the last piece of his home before they had to leave. But this was pretty damn dangerous, as we literally see the planet cracking beneath his feet. And that crack becomes an explosion, knocking Kal back as he falls over the edge. He nearly dies here. And as he begins to fall, he's hoping and praying that good things are happening on Krypton. That maybe people are helping each other. Maybe some people are simply waiting for the planet to end as they hold each other in their arms. He's hoping something else is happening on this planet besides a boy having to be saved by his dog. As we see that scarf Krypto is wearing turn into a cape, allowing him to save Kal. And now that Kal's safe, he's really hoping that there are other good things happening on Krypton. He almost allows himself to believe it, but this is a day of tragedy. And things did not go well even on the other side of the planet, as people were still rioting, fighting to get on the ships that the elite built for themselves. And Kal thinks back on this. What if they told everybody about the impending doom of Krypton? What if they allowed everyone to work together? The elites, the middle class, the lower class? What if they worked together as a race to try and survive? Sure, people still would have died, but nowhere near as many. But because the elite decided to do what they did, not one ship was able to take off, as people kept trying to pile on. When it came to all of the cities in Krypton, none of them were able to survive, all because of their selfishness. As we see the ship with Kal, his family, and the handful of people making their way off the planet. And now that they were on their way, Kal felt a sense of calmness, a sense of hope, even finding the strength to comfort a scared child. Despite all this tragedy, he found the strength to smile, only for more tragedy to strike, as a giant rock slammed right into their ship, piercing right through it, destroying a huge part of it, knocking dozens of Kryptonians right off the ship, falling to their deaths. Except, like I said before, all of these Kryptonians have the same spacesuit Superman is currently wearing, the suit with the AI system Soul, a suit designed to protect them. So all of them are saved by Soul, as it creates a construct that looks like a kind of Kryptonian jet, saving all of them from falling to their deaths, putting them in their own ships, and everyone is actually safe, even Superman's parents. This has got to be one of the coolest suits I've ever seen. It's like a Kryptonian symbiotic suit. It can hack through databases, give information, give advice, help charge up Kryptonians, and now we see it can even make giant ships just to protect them. This thing is incredibly useful. And with the planet finally starting to explode, it even takes some of the Kryptonian ships with it. Some of the people that Lara and Jor-El were trying to save do not make it. And while all of this death and destruction is happening, Kal thinks back on the legacy of Krypton. For 10 billion years, the planet Krypton basked in the blistering red light of the sun. Toward the end of its existence, this planet had become riddled with parasites. Tiny creatures infested Krypton's star-hardened skin, eviscerated the world one handful of guts at a time, until its insides became unstable, until its blackened lungs wheezed and gushed radioactive bile. 10 billion years my homeworld stubbornly endured, and it only took a few measly million for people to ruin it all. Like I said before, this Superman not only understands the weight of losing his home, but he understands losing it because of the negligence of the elite and the corrupt. And with the planet's destruction becoming more violent, we see more and more of these Kryptonians being destroyed in all the chaos. And when the dust settles and we see Kal finally out of the planet, he realizes he's alone. He is the only ship we see, so it looks like everyone may have been killed. The people they tried to save, his parents, even Krypto. As we see Kal crying out for his mother and father, but all we see is him in the loneliness of space. And now that we've finally seen the full destruction of Krypton and how Superman became so alone, we go back to the present. And now we know why Superman flew away so fast before he officially got the whereabouts of the Peacemaker. It's because he's afraid of what he might do if he finds out where he is. He is seething, fuming with rage. And I just gotta say before we continue, this is such a cool cape. I feel like I've said it a few times while reading Absolute Superman, but bro, being covered with the ashes of your destroyed planet, and it's such a huge and fluttering cape, and the art style is amazing. I just love this so much. But anyway, Superman realizes he simply needs to be alone right now. He needs to be reminded of something. And when Soul asks him what he needs to be reminded of, he says, home. Superman is now back in Smallville, Kansas. So he got some of the rage of Superman, but to stop himself from going too far, he has gone back home. So we will continue with issue number 6. I hope you guys have enjoyed my coverage of issue number 5, and I will catch you on the next one.